Okay, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this specific slide. I think if you're here, you're taking this course, you're probably already sold on the idea of tech sales. I don't need to tell you too much, but from an educational standpoint, there's probably going to be some folks listening to this that are curious but aren't sold on it yet. So I just want to briefly touch on what tech sales is and why you should care, right? Like why you should want to get into it. It's not for everybody, but nonetheless, it is a great career path, long term, and I'm about to explain why. So, at a high level, what is tech sales really? When people refer to tech sales, they're referring to B2B tech sales, B2B SaaS sales. You'll hear these interchanged all the time. Essentially, what you're doing, what B2B means is you are selling business to business. So, for example, let's say you work at Amazon. Amazon's service is called Amazon Web Services. It's a cloud hosting software. And what you do as part of their sales team is you're selling to other businesses. So, for example, Walmart, right? Walmart needs cloud services so that they can have their website up and running with zero downtime so that they lose absolutely zero sales. Their business depends on their website being up and running at all times so that customers can come in and buy whatever the heck they want. That is business to business sales, and that's what tech sales is. Uh, Very different from any other sales opportunities out there where you're selling directly to the consumer, aka it's called B2C. For example, working at Best Buy. Let's say you're working at an electronics store like Best Buy, and you're just you're on the sales floor selling televisions. You're selling flat screen TVs to the dad who came in and says, "Hey, I want to buy a new TV. What do you have that's $400?" And you're like, "Oh, well, we got this one, we got that one," and that's it. It's a very quick and easy transactional sale. Whereas in tech sales, it's a lot more complex, and it's exactly why they pay so well and why it's such a great career path. Selling to businesses is not easy. It's difficult, but it's extremely worth it. Which leads me to my next point, right? Tech sales has extremely high earning potential on the low end. On the low end, at least here in the United States, you will be making five figures. When I started 7 years ago, I started at 45 grand, and I believe I made like 80 grand or even close to 100 grand. Um, and that was, at the bottom of the totem pole. I had so much money I was selling, so I was sending my mom $1,000 every month every month for a year straight. So, I mean, that's how much I was making. I was fresh out of college. But on the high end, there's rumors of people making, 1 million a year. Those are, obviously those sales folks are more tenured. They've got 20 years of experience. That doesn't come, that doesn't come easy and doesn't come quickly. But there's people making a million, around a million, in tech sales. I know of one person doing a million. So that's kind of, why it's such a lucrative career and why so many people want to go into it. It's high earning potential if you're willing to work hard and learn. A lot of tech companies, they offer really flexible work schedules and good benefits. So it's not uncommon to get unlimited vacation. It's not uncommon to be able to work from home 100% of the time. You get obviously full benefits and stuff like that, like health insurance. And if you work for a tech company that's a startup and they go big, you're going to get a lot of stock options, and that's how a lot of people also strike it rich. For example, I've got a friend who was a sales manager at a small tech company, and when that tech company ended up getting acquired by a bigger company for approximately 300 million, he cashed out. He got a check worth $500,000, and he got a house. And then I have another friend who went through the same thing. He got a smaller check though, probably worth 70,000, and he bought a Porsche. So, you end up getting good benefits, and there's a lot of ups. There's a lot of potential to really make some real money and get some big checks. So, and the last point here is that it's typically low barrier to entry. You'll see in another video, you probably already watched it, or you might watch it after this, but there are certain requirements, obviously, to get into tech companies, like a college degree in many instances. But aside from that, tech sales is a very low barrier to entry. You don't need to be, you don't have to know how to be an engineer. You don't have to know how to code. You don't have to know how to develop a website. You don't need to have anything to be good in sales apart from your communication skills and your presence, and that's it. So that makes it a pretty low barrier to entry. It's exactly why I got into it. I knew that, well, that's not exactly why, but I knew that I didn't really have any skills. I went to school and I tried computer science. I went to school and tried to be a physical therapist. It didn't really work. I ended up graduating political science, which is kind of a lame degree in my opinion. But anyway, I didn't really have any skills. So, coming into tech for me was huge. And getting into sales was huge for me because it was an opportunity to make really good money without having any technical skills behind me. Um, so anyway, that makes it, that's a high level what tech sales is. What do you do in tech sales? There's a lot that you do, but at a high level, when you're just getting in, getting your foot in the door, what you're doing is it's called the sales development representative, and I'll kind of walk you through that later in the course. But essentially, you are a glorified secretary because what you do is you're setting up meetings for the closer, aka the sales rep, and that's really where you make the most money. But even as a SDR, as a sales development representative, like I mentioned, when I started, I made enough money to send my mom $1,000 a month, and to live in San Francisco, which is one of the most expensive cities to live in the entire world. So you can make a lot of money, but initially, what you're doing in business to business is, you're cold calling, you're cold emailing, you're helping set up business meetings and business opportunities, and sales meetings for your closer, for your account executive. So that's what tech sales is. Eventually, after a year, 2 years, maybe even 3 years, after you've earned your stripes, you move on into the closing role, which is the account executive, and that's really where the money is and where the fun is. It's an amazing opportunity. And then after that, there are many other career opportunities in tech sales. There's sales management, there's customer success. You can be the sales development manager. There's so many opportunities in tech sales. But at a high level, if you're just starting off, it's very likely you'll be in this, and then eventually you move into this. So why is it a solid career path? Um, you will learn extremely valuable life skills that are transferable literally to all walks of life, period. You're going to learn how to negotiate. Talking about money and negotiating, going back and forth is not going to scare you. You're going to learn how to do it. You're going to learn business, essentially, business etiquette, right? I always love those movies like Wolf of Wall Street, where the main character's dressed up in a nice suit and has this amazing presence and charisma walking into a room, knows how to like lead a meeting, get people fired up. I love that. And that's essentially what you're learning in sales. You're learning business, essentially. There's prestige that comes with sales. In the business world, if you can, convince a customer to give you their money, guess what? You that's a pretty hard and intimidating skill. You're going to learn that, and you're going to learn that well, and that's going to bring prestige. It's going to make you proud of yourself, and your peers are going to be proud of you. So there's a lot of prestige that comes with tech sales. You're going to learn how the world works. There's no other customer facing opportunity that exposes you to a variety of of different businesses and different business leaders, and then through that you essentially are learning how all these different companies work. Because this is business to business sales, you're going to learn behind the scenes of how all these other companies operate, so that then you can pitch and deliver your services to them and get that signed contract. So you essentially are really learning how the world works. There's no other job opportunity like that. Very unique to sales. Of course, you're going to get to learn sales and persuasion, right? Who doesn't want to learn how to persuade? Everyone does. Everyone does. That's how you make money in the world, through persuasion and knowing how to sell an idea. Steve Jobs, he sold the entire world on iPhone. Bill Gates sold the entire world on the power of computer and Microsoft. Sales and persuasion runs the world, and you're going to get to learn that obviously through tech sales. And lastly, it's it's a really challenging job, but in a good way. You won't get bored in tech sales, and it'll transform you. And in fact, on a personal note, that's actually why I decided to get into sales 7 years ago. The reason being is because had grown up extremely shy and introverted my entire life. I wanted to get rid of that. I wanted to kill that side of me. I was afraid of being afraid of people, afraid of going up to strangers and sparking a conversation. I really wanted to become someone that was charismatic, fearless, strong, confident, etc. And for me, I knew that sales was going to be the perfect opportunity to do that. I knew it was going to challenge me in all the right ways, and sure enough, it did. So this is all, at a high level, what sales is and why a lot of people are interested in an opportunity like this, and why this course exists, and why you're probably taking this course, because it's going to be a good opportunity. You just don't know how to get in, and that's what this course is all about. So let's keep moving. Hope you enjoyed this slide. Cheers.